I'm happy to be here, and at the outset, let me thank Plan to Win for giving me this forum once again to interact with all of you. I know Gitanjali has said that let us have a discussion, and I do look forward to discussion. And after a few points that I'd like to put in, if there is anything that comes to your mind, you may put it in chat so that I can see it while we go ahead. And I'm sure most of you may have joined this session only because the word Yuktahara seemed queer to you, and you thought, what is that got to do with fitness and food and everything? So let's go back to very basics, and I promise you it won't be boring, and it's not going to be into any pathy or anything like that. It's just plain logic, plain understanding of our own selves, which is what we have lacked sometime in between, and we've messed up with our selves. So trying to set things right and helping our generation to come to set it right is something that I'm happy to, and I feel privileged to be given this opportunity to do so. So coming to this word Yuktahara, Yukta, the word Yukta, like Gitanjali ji told you to start with, is appropriate, proper, Yukta, Yogya, whatever is right. But the question is, what is right? And Ahara, when we look at this word Ahara, most of us know this word. Ahara means food. But is it only just mere food that we are putting into our mouth that makes what goes into us? I'm sure if we think a little beyond it, we will know that it is not. It is what thoughts we put into us, so that thought also becomes food. And I'm sure many of you have thought about it. If you don't, then you can go watch a video that's there which talks about, food for thought and thought for food. So that is also going to be adding to you. That also becomes nourishment, or if not the right thoughts, can be bad nourishment. So yukta is appropriate, and ahara is what you take in, what you put in as food. Now, where does all this stem from? Basically, it stems from a very simple thought that when we are talking of health, health is nothing but samyak ahar, vihar, and vichar. So samyak is appropriate, proper. Ahar is food. Vihar is our movements, exercise you may call it, or your activities. And vichar is thought. So all of this puts together for your good health. So when someone is fit, someone is in the best of health, then that will have to be samyak ahar, vihar, and vichar. Only then can you experience good health. And while it might sound very, Indian typical terms and all that, well, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to dwell into the deep aspects of Ayurveda or any particular pathy, but just that Ayurveda is nothing but the understanding of life. Ayu is life, and Veda is to know, that is knowing life. So it's simply knowing life. There is no hocus pocus, nothing there, and it's plain logic. So anyway, coming to Yuktahara. So what is it in Yuktahara that we are going to see? Basic things is knowing what we are made of. Yes, everyone knows we are made up of bone, flesh, skin, blood, all these things. We have bunch of sense organs and all that. Yes. But all these have to be in sync, because we all know that when the synchronization of anything is not there, everything goes off balance. You know your own Google. If you don't sync your Google, you don't keep getting your messages and all. I mean, people connect to technology these days, so it's best put that way. Now, when we come to our foods, so is the food got anything to do with us? Is there something common between the food and us? What is it that we should take? When is it that we should take? So we need to go back to understanding a few things. Have you noticed often when you wake up in the morning, whatever time you wake up, let us say any time between the early risers, let's say 4:35, to anyone rising up to about 7:38 or so. Don't you see that often when you wake up in the morning, sometimes you kind of just do that and you get a little bit of sputum? Why is it? You're not suffering from any cough or cold, but you get that, right? Then as the day goes on, and sometime between 10 and 12, you sometimes feel some burning sensation between your abdomen and the throat. Sometimes, not always. And then you say, okay, maybe I'm hungry or I'm thirsty or something like that. And maybe towards a little later than that, you will see that there is a little bit of flatulence, and sometimes you may burp a little, or, you let the gases in the body escape off from your body. So why does this happen? This is natural. It is irrespective of whether you eat or you don't. Because we know that our body is generally, you will see that these aspects not only in the body, but you will see it all around us. And that is what we talk of the kapha, vata, and pitta. Now, these are technical terms. I would not put them like English equivalent to it, because these are our Sanskrit non-translatables, as you can say, or these are culturally defined words which have got their own connotations. But very loosely put, I can say, okay, kapha is to do with phlegm. Phlegm as in that sputum? No, it's just the mucus. Sometimes you may see that there is a mucosal lining. If you just put, when you are taking a bath and you're washing your nose, if you put your finger in your nostril, you'll see it's moist. If you look into your eyes, you will see there is moisture there. You will see your mouth, there is saliva. So every organ within, there has to be something which is the fluid part. I'm not talking of blood. I'm not talking of, the plasmic fluids that are there, or plasma. I'm talking about, or the serum. I'm talking about fluids which are like mucousy, the little like slimy. So that is loosely, just for you to understand, that is kapha. Then there is pitta. Pitta is what some of us very commonly call as acid or acidity, but it's not that. Bile, someone will call it that. So these are, this is pitta, is what is going to actually be your digestive fire. And that is what is going to help digest your food. That is the one that is necessary to build up so that certain functions take place. And then there is vata. Vata, we generally connect it to the wind element, but you will know that when we are inhaling and exhaling also, when you inhale, you're breathing in oxygen, what we call as pranavayu. Now this, why is it pranavayu? Because it gives you life. Okay, oxygen gives us life, and we know this by science. So pranavayu it is called. Now you have this pancha. There are 5 vayus in our body, okay, or the pranas. That is why we refer to as pancha prana. You may have heard this word pancha prana, 5 pranas. Doesn't mean that you have 5 lives. We are not going into any of that. But it's just that you have wind, or the what you may call as gas, or wind, which is the air element, which is present in different parts of our body. So you have prana, vyana, udana, apana, and samana. So in different places of the body, when it is called by a different name. We don't need to get into that, but that will eventually become the vata element. Now, when there is an imbalance in anything, what happens? There's movement, there is growth, there is change. In fact, science will tell us, the law of thermodynamics will tell us, if there is equilibrium, nothing can function, right? So there is a slight imbalance of something or the other, and that will make things happen. Now it happens in the body as well. There is this kapha, vata, pitta, you will see at different times of the day. You will see according to the season. You will see according to your system and according to everything. And then you will see that these certain foods are also those which make all this change their levels. So it's not all that complicated as it sounds. We'll make it very simple. Now, when we talk about food, I'm sure all of us eat different types of foods, just so that anyone can talk of their favorite food. You can put it in chat and say, what's your favorite food? Anything that you like. Okay, not your favorite food, something that you eat daily. Any one thing, everyone can put what they like to say in the chat box. What is it that they eat often? Something that goes with them. Okay, jowar bhakri, fine. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Then you have pani puri, okay. Starting the day on pani puri, fine. Mushrooms, okay. Now you're coming to range of food, right from traditional to okay other kinds of foods. Plus, that's it. Okay, so we have a bunch of people over here. There are, I think, 66 people, but there are just a few. Okay, tea, crazy for it. All right, fine. So thank you for your expressions. Now we'll look at, yes, you can keep answering and I'll take these on as we move ahead in the conversation, taking all your inputs there. So we've talked of a range of foods. Now, if jowar bhakri, if we take just the first answer that came, jowar bhakri. If I look at jowar bhakri, when I eat this jowar bhakri in a particular season, when I eat this jowar bhakri at a particular time in the day, and if a person who is extremely very heavy already and is going to eat jowar bhakri, what will happen to him? If there's a person who's lean and eats jowar bhakri, what happens to him? So you will see that this jowar bhakri can have multiple effects or different effects on different people. Don't we all have 2 eyes, 2 ears, nose, mouth? Yes, yet we are all different. In our own family, there are people who are different. That means to say, if we are different, even the same kind of food is going to have different impact on different people, right? Yet in our family, we eat the same. I know there'll be a bunch of questions. So does that mean I need to cook different food for every person? No. When you are normal, when you are functioning without any ailment or disease, what everybody eats is the same that you can eat. It will have the same thing. It's only when there is an imbalance that to counter the imbalance, we need to take certain things into action. So essentially, when you eat, you made a mention of many kind of things. Now, if I were to just say your lunch, one lunch, what would it contain? It would contain multiple things, right? You might have chapati, you might have sabzi, you'll have dal, chawal, some salad, some chutney, some pickles. Okay, these days pickles, no, there is oil, leave it. Papad, no, it's fried, leave it. And then the salad, oh God, it's too boring. But the salad, I just chop some carrots and I'll have a salad which is raw. Okay, and then you will say sabzi, oh no, forget the sabzi. Instead of the sabzi, I'll have some mushroom. Okay, and yeah, I know somebody's wondering, am I not calling sabzi a mushroom or mushroom a sabzi? I have logic for that, but we come to it later. So now we have all these bunch of things. And in that, you will see, like those of you who were here last time, remember that we need to look at our food as a whole, not just carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and all, though they are important and in their own place. But yet, the combination of the food that we eat has to be balanced. Why? Because all of us need to have in our food these 6 things. That is, you need to have something. We say this as Shad Rasa Purusheneha Bhoktavya Balamichata Amlastikta Kashayascha Madhuro Lavana Katu. Not a bunch of galis. Okay. So it simply means that a person who desires strength, who wishes to be strong in this world, healthy in your lines if you like it, should consume these 6 flavors in every meal. What are they? Amla. Amla means sar. Tikta. The word tikta might sound like the Marathi word tikhat, but it is not that. Tikta means bitter. Okay. Kadwa. So amlas tikta, kashaya. Kashaya is astringent. Marathi turat manto ami. That is simply, if you look at amla, if you have that Indian gooseberry, highest content of vitamin C, 660 milligram per 100 grams, that is turat taste, astringent taste. Okay. Amlas tikta kashayascha. Madhura, sweet. Lavana, salty. And katu. Katu means not kadu in Hindi or Marathi kadwa, but katu means spicy, pungent, like the mirchi kind of, chili kind of taste. So our meal should have a balance of 6. Now you're wondering, oh God, every meal has to have this. Yes. And that is why go back to your times that the grandmother cooked food for you, your grandmother or your great grandmother. If you are the younger and not my generation means 50. I'm 50. So around 50. So if you are not this generation and you're much younger than that, then go to your great grandmother. What did she cook for you? You'll see that the meal would contain all of this. You would have a little bit, just a little bit of the pickles. Why? The sour taste. Okay, you will see that there would be little bit of your koshimbir or pachadi or what you call salad. I refrain from calling it salad because salads eaten raw have bad impacts. Okay, we in our Indian traditions, you will see there is always either some vaghar tadka given to that koshimbir, so or added with maybe nuts or maybe with dahi or something like that, and we have a koshimbir. We never eat a plate full or a bowl full of raw salads because raws can increase vata. That is the wind element. And then after a few days, you will get bloating, then IBS and all these falana things will happen. And we very, easily, oh, salads. But the Western world eats it. Oh, they have to eat it. They need fiber. Don't we? No, you're eating jowar bhakri. Where are you getting sufficient fiber? You're eating masoor dal. You're getting sufficient fiber. You're eating legumes. You're getting sufficient fiber. Okay, what about those guys? They're eating maida, they're eating baked potatoes, they're eating all this. They need to have fiber. They have to have this raw. You and I don't need it. We come from an Indian tradition. And if you're eating traditional Indian foods, we don't need it. So I'm not against the Western world. Or if anyone's here from any other part of the world, I'm just trying to tell you, use the upper floor that we have when it comes to eating as well. So when you're talking of Yuktahar, you need to know what is good for you. So what is good in general and what is good specifically. So let's understand what happens to our body. Last time we saw that our body rises with the sun, sets with the sun, which means the metabolism rises as the sun rises, peaks between, you can say between 12 and 2, that's the time. And after that, just as the sun is slowly going to move downwards, the body's metabolism is also slowing down. Now, in this, let us add one new element. Okay, remember I said at the start, kapha, vata and pitta, 3 things. This kapha, vata, pitta, we can see across the season, across our age, across the days. Okay, let us take a look. Have you seen small babies? I'm sure we have all of us have been one. But if you look at, I will talk about, there's no problem with the green salad. The problem is in the way we consume it. Okay, the cucumber is good, the carrot is good, the tomatoes are good, the onion is good, the lettuce is good, the spinach is good, everything is good. The point is, if you're eating so much of the quantity in raw, it's going to cause flatulence. It's going to cause indigestion because the kind of sedentary lifestyles that we live, Are we roaming around like cows who go on munching and, keep on masticating on all that they have eaten, all the greens that they've eaten? No, we have eaten our food. If we are lucky, we may have walked a few hundred steps, Shatapauli, if you do those 100 steps. And then again, you would have plonked yourself on some cushion, chair, wherever, and continue to do your work. And then you would do some exercise start of the day. You would do some exercise maybe end of the day, if at all it permits. And otherwise, our lives are very sedentary. And if you're eating so much of raws directly without, what I mean by raw is there has to be Agni Sanskara on it. That means some fire element to it. That means don't go and light your fire, the salad. You need to put some tadka on it. Because what does tadka do, vaghar do? When you use oil, oil makes that thing digestible. Then you will see that there is, when you put the mustard in it, the jeera, cumin seeds in it, the asafoetida if you are using, or pepper, or any of this in that, it makes it digestible. It makes it digestible. And that's the reason it's important to put some Agni Sanskar. Okay, no Agni Sanskar, you want to make dahi pachadi? Fine. When you add dahi, add little bit of pepper. Why? Because dahi has this property. I know there are many who are on these, diet, and I'm not against what you are, just that you have to know yourself before you go into any of these fads. If you have dahi every day, lots and lots, first of all, you're not eating the dahi which is made at home. Okay, you're eating dahi which doesn't have the bacteria in it. Those of you who know that dahi contains bacteria called Lactobacillus acidophilus. We learned this in our school days, okay? So this is not some hodgepodge that I'm telling you. I'm telling you what you and I already have learned. Now, this is what makes your food digestible. Today's fancy language, probiotics, prebiotics, got it? Okay, that's what. So that means these bacteria are going to make your food digestible that you eat. That is why we have a little bit of buttermilk or little bit of dahi. But not combinations like paratha and dahi whole day. Oh, that's my only meal. Where are the sabzis? Gone. Convenience, we say, I am eating healthy food. I am eating home food. Convenience. We take off all the elements from the thali and then just take one chapati and one big bowl full of curd, and we'll say, I ate a very healthy diet. And then we live in this oblivion. And then you still wonder, why am I growing fat? Why am I getting skin disease? Oh, we don't remember that this dahi is called, it has a property which we call as abhishyandi. What it does, it soaks all the water which is there in your body, makes it dry, and then slowly starts releasing it. And then you wonder sometimes, why is there fluid? The doctor will say there's fluid accumulation in your body. What is this fluid accumulation? Because of that excess dahi that you're eating. Another, oh, night, it's so boring. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to eat. Let me just have dahi. The worst thing you can do to yourself is to have dahi at night. We have in our Shastras, it is said, Naktam dadhina bhunjita, never consume dahi, curds, yogurt at night. And these fancy yogurts that you get outside, sweetened Greek, and then whichever other state or whichever country they come from, why are we falling for these fads? How much time does it take to make a culture of dahi at home? We need just a drop of buttermilk. We don't even need a spoonful of dahi. Just a drop of buttermilk is sufficient. It has millions of bacteria which are going to convert that milk into curd. You just have to stir it. That's why if you remember, see your grandmother, you may have seen that she put very little of the culture and she would have stirred and stirred and stirred just about 20 times, 21 times. Means what? Simply, there's nothing holy about the number. Oh, it's divisible by 7, multiplied by 3. No, nothing like that. Simply that it has to be stirred enough so that all the bacteria can, mix with the milk, warm milk well, so that the process of fermentation can take place. And that's why when you make your pachadi, the salad with the dahi or the raita, we add a little bit of pepper in it. Why? Because the properties of dahi, which can otherwise affect your body, are cancelled. And that is why those of you who are eating this dahi vada, worst combination to ever eat poison. But you invite your friend and say, I made a delicacy for you, dahi vada. You're feeding your friend poison. But, oh, dahi vada is eaten traditionally. Yes, but there is peppercorn that goes into that vada mix. Do you know that? In that urad dal. Because urad and dahi are both this property. And this is one of the reasons why pitta increases. That means that acidity increases. And you will see that skin diseases are on the rise. Today, autoimmune and skin diseases are on the rise simply because of eating wrong kinds of foods. So it's good, healthy food that you're eating cooked at home, but the wrong combination can mess it up. So it is not just knowing that food, but knowing what it does in a combination. See, simple. You all have had Yes, dahi vada is your favorite. I'm sure most women love dahi vada. Okay, and those of you who watch some old movie Khoobsurat, you will say, oh, the person doesn't like dahi vada, means something's wrong with her. Oh, that's how much women love dahi vada. But remember, dahi vada once in a way is fine. If you're going to eat it once every day, then it's a mess. So anything that is had in excess is going to be a problem. But when we prepare that dahi vada, the reason for putting chili, the reason for putting peppercorn, the reason for giving tadka to that dahi or using cumin seeds, jeera and all this is to neutralize the ill effects of that dahi. Okay, that is why dahi is not eaten with everything, and dahi can be mixed only with a certain set of things. Okay, so anyway, we'll come to each of this. So I was telling you about the part time of the day and kapha, vata, pitta. If we understand this basic thing, nothing goes wrong. Okay, and how am I, who am I, what will I do, who will do the test, who will tell me? Look, your body talks to you. Have you taken time to listen to it? The body will tell you when to eat, why to eat, but we go by the clock. 6 o'clock, I have to drink tea. 7 o'clock, I have to eat breakfast. Yes, it has to be timely, but not like whether if you're hungry or not, you've eaten pani puri for snack, not one, a couple, maybe 2 or 3 platefuls, and now you want to have dinner because it is 8 o'clock. Huh. Most of us today face challenges on health is not because of undereating, is because of overeating, not the quantity at the wrong times. We are eating our meal before the previous meal is digested. I know that we have to fill our car, like you fill petrol in the car when it comes to reserve, or in a scooty when it comes to reserve. Like that, you have to give your body food every 3-4 hours. But how much? Remember last time we said size of our stomach is this, and how much is what is the size of our plate? This big, doesn't even fit in my screen. Huh? So if you're going to eat that much, then we are going to mess it up. So let's come back. Now, the child, a small child, you will see child often gets affected by respiratory illnesses, cough, cold. As the child till about 6 years of life, you will see the child generally falls sick, has cold, cough, these kind of ailments. Then you see a little later, you will see all those pimples and all those things come up, eruptions and all, because of high acid and oil, sebaceous glands overactive and all this. So acid in the body increases in the youth. We say an angry young man. What is that because of? It's because of the acid, the bile, the pitta. Okay, I will use the technical term pitta because then I feel uncomfortable using that wrong English word for it because it doesn't give the complete connotation. Okay, so this pitta increases, and that is why you will see youth, generally people are angry and all that. The kind of diseases you get are to do with abdominal disease. And like I said last time, every disease, if not congenital, will originate from the stomach. And then last phase of our life, you see, as we tend to become little older, cross the 40s and move towards 50s and all. Uttara ji, okay. Anyway, so I won't kill anyone. Everyone has the freedom to live the way they like. Okay. So the old age, you will see generally people suffer from vata related diseases, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis and all. These, of course, when they are, some of them are, the autoimmune part is there, but that is because of the vata imbalance. You will see most of the bone kind of ailments and all, or pain. Mostly whenever you see there is pain, remember this vata has got upset. Any kind of pain anywhere, anywhere. If there is pain, please understand that vata has had its some gadbad. Okay, so you saw across the age, young, you in childhood, you will see kapha is predominant. In the mid age, you will see it is pitta, which is predominant. And at the end of the age, or towards the end of the life, it is vata, which is predominant. That's why even you will see paralysis and all these. This happens because of vata imbalance. Okay, most of the brain related things that go out of sync, Alzheimer's, all these many you will see are vata related. Now this vata can be caused because of many things at any stage in life. I'm not saying that it happens at that particular time in age. Now come to the day. 6 to 10 in the morning, kapha, kapha is predominant. 10 to 2, put into 4-hour slots, you will get the whole thing. Okay, 10 to 2, pitta. 2 to 6, vata. Then again, 6 to 10, kapha. 10 to 2, pitta. And again that vata, that cycle will keep going like that. Okay, so always you will see in the day also there is a balance. And that is why, remember, we have hot things during the day. At the start of the day, hot water. Those of you who have green tea, hot tea, or all our decoctions that we have, or concoctions that we make of adrak or and tulsi and what not, all these things. And yes, some lovers of tea and coffee here. Don't you have that at the start of the day, hot? Why? because that kapha is put down, put in its place, reduced, mitigated by hot heat. Okay. And then see the latter part when you have your meal, when you're having your breakfast and all. Well, and this theory about breakfast, you know, how whosoever you are, whether you're kapha dominant, pitta dominant, vata dominant, nobody is pure any of these. You are a combination, kapha pitta, kapha vata, then pitta and kapha. So any of these combinations. And then there are very few who are sama, means all three in not exactly in balance, but there you can't make out the difference. Now, how will you know you are this? Of course, I can't look here and just say some 10 rules and say you are this. That is why when you go to a physician, generally, you know, in olden times, the doctor would talk to you. They would not just look at you. The doctor would ask, yeah, yes, what's wrong? He'll ask you all things about your habit. What did you eat? What did you do? What did you... Today, the doctor will just look at you. He'll take the... I mean, with due respect to all the doctors here, and I respect the community. Okay. They'll put the stethoscope. These days, they don't even... They will just look at you, say, huh, what's wrong? Tell me. And then they'll just write something and give. Understanding the patient or understanding the individual in anything, whether it's your life or whether it's a patient or doctor relationship, or whether it's a student and teacher relationship, whether it's your boss and understanding the person solves most of the problems. Get the person right and you get the problem right. Here, the doctor doesn't, when the Vaidya will ask you what you like, whether you like cold water, you like hot water, whether you like to sleep in cool place, whether you like to do this, whether you like to do that, he'll look at you and tell you, okay, you have people who are frail generally. I'm not talking of the ones who have become due to an ailment, who generally their constitution is lean, very lean and frail. Generally will be the vata things. They want to do things in a hurry, quickly. They are very quick to learn things, quick to forget things. You know, so there are many properties which will tell you who you are. If you see people generally who are little slow, little on the heavier side, they like to do their things slowly. You'll see they have thick, very thick, oily hair, thick, thick skin, which is quite, it has a shine on it. You generally see they are the kapha type. You'll see that their eyes, you know, they are watery eyes, like not watery means tearing like that, but they're shiny eyes. You will see they are the pitta, the kapha types. Then you will see the pitta, those who get the smallest of things and they get irked. You will see these are the pitta types. You know, you will see that they quickly they are middle framed. Their frame is middle, not very fat, not very frail. So there are many properties. These are just, I'm just saying just hardly. I'm not even saying 1% of them because I can't say all of them here. And the
Ruchita
combinations
ji,
you will
can you
see are...
repeat? Ruchita ji, can you repeat these things in a nutshell? What you just said.
Yes, I
Just got
can.
a
See,
message for yes.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay. So for the vata, generally the vata predominant people are frail. They are very quick at doing things. They are like as if in a haste, you know, that the day is just going to end and I have nothing. So they are quick to do things. They're quick to learn. Their gait, the walking, their walk is also fast. Hmm? And
Yeah.
you will see that their hair is generally thin. And so these are the vata dominant ones. Okay, the pitta dominant ones you will see generally are very short tempered. Then they have a medium frame. They have a medium frame. The eyes tend to be yellow. Not that they are suffering from jaundice, and not always. Not always. Okay, I'm just saying sometimes most of the times you'll see this. You will see that they are the ones who will... there might sometimes be a reddish tinge to the skin. Not always again. Sometimes a reddish tinge to the skin. Doesn't mean that they are the red Caucasians and all. I don't mean to say that. Just that the skin tends to become reddish very quickly. Then you will see that they prefer things which are cool. Like they like things that will keep them little cool. Cold as well as cool, both. You know, that's the pitta dominant ones. You will see that often they have gray hair at very young age. When you see at very young age, people have gone gray in their hair, or if they have very light hair, means it's not jet black. It might be more to the brown or the tawny side. They generally will have pitta imbalance because their melanin deposit doesn't stay much. Okay. And that is why you will see that they gray easily. They gray fast and they gray easily, quickly. Sometimes even in young girls and young boys, you will see their hair is all gone gray. Most often you will see they're pitta dominant. Okay. Then there is kapha. Kapha dominant are generally slow. Huh?
Mhm.
No. So then, I'm sorry. The kapha dominant ones you will see are generally slow at doing things. They'll do it, take their time to do. Their walk is also slow. Then you will see that generally they will tend to put on weight very quickly, lose weight very slowly. And they generally will be, on the stoutier side. Not always. These are again not like 100%. There will be, you will see that their eyes are like shiny, jet black hair, jet black thick hair. Their skin is shiny and, like you can say sometimes waxy or leathery. Whereas the vata, you'll see dry skin, completely dry skin. So these are just a few. And then again, when there is a combination, which most of us will be some vata, pitta, vata, kapha due to, pitta due to vata due to pitta, all these types. So there is multiple permutation combination. Come on, live, there has to be variety, right? So this is there. So now so finding the best kind of thing for one particular type, it's very difficult. That is why you have to understand what works with you. And there's something which is very important, which all of us, and I think irrespective of where we come from, irrespective of what we follow, we have to know what goes with our DNA. And that is what in Ayurveda, that is very beautifully, they've used the word satmya. In fact, oka satmya. Satmya means that which goes with you. Like if you come from, let's say if we come from the Konkan region, you will have been eating rice from like ever since you started eating. Every meal you will eat rice, and how much of a rice you eat, you go with it. Even in the south, okay? For them, that rice is satmya to them. Whatever they do, that rice will be good for them. As long as they're not cooking it in the pressure cooker, then the pot belly will start coming up, okay? So yes, it's good to be very mindful about what goes and to be mindful when you eat. That helps a lot. But at the same time, I mean, what you're following, because you must be definitely considering your mindfulness and all the sessions that you take and you practice. You have to be. That's one of the most important things, to watch what goes into your mouth. Yes. And this, when it is oka satmya, when it goes with your DNA, sometimes even irregularities in that don't affect you. Like for instance, if you go to the north, they eat rai ka tel, mustard oil, across the seasons. Okay, we will say, okay, no, in this season it will be too hot, in this and all that, what to do. But for them, that is oka satmya to them. That goes with their DNA, because for generations, not from their birth, from generations before, they have been eating it. You get that? Those who have been eating til oil, cooking their meals in til oil for generations, they will eat in summer season also, nothing will happen. But those of us who have been using coconut oil, or those of us who have been using groundnut oil, if we are to use sesame oil, til oil, I mean, in lots in every single meal, we will break up into acne, pimples, heat, skin rash and all that. Why? Because we are not oka satmya. Therefore, we say, of course, you should change oils and all by the season, go by the season. Now let's come to, we are slowly beginning to understand a little about us. I'm not sure, but we are making an attempt. Then when it comes to the food, how does it work? Now see, food that you look at and the food that you are going to eat, there will be some properties of it which are going to be there in it. What happens to cheese? When I say cheese, most of you say, oh, high protein. Some of you say, oh, high fat. Simple, cheese goes inside and sticks. So are you doing your intestines good? No, if something is going to be sticky on the outside, what is it going to be in the inside? Going to be sticky. So if it's going to stick into your intestine, the villi, okay, it's not actually going to go and sit over there. But when a sticky substance is produced, it's going to stick and block and clog everything that's there. You know, oil, if you put oil in the drain, what does oil do? It'll clog, right? That sticky layer will keep coating it and eventually it will clog. I hope I'm sure you know, I mean, you probably might know this. In some countries, you will see that the restaurant lines of sewage and the other lines are kept different, because sewage lines which go from the hotels will always be sticky. They will always emanate oily stuff. So the kind of waste that goes out is totally different. That's what oil does. Look at ghee. Okay, I'm not talking of solid ghee, obviously in the liquid form. Ghee is free flowing. That is why it is saraka, sarana. It moves. It takes things. That is why we eat our foods with ghee. You know, rice, dal, chawal, we put ghee in it. Why? Because we say that one spoonful of ghee is shuddhi. It purifies your food. Okay, that's what it does. It allows it to flow. That's the property of ghee. But the property of oil is different. It sticks. Property of cheese, it sticks. Anything which is sticky is going to stick. Mushrooms are dead. I mean, with due respect to what you're eating. Have you seen, have we eaten mushrooms many years ago? Your great grandmother and all, did they eat mushroom? Or is it a recent invention? By the way, those of you probably don't know, there is mention of mushroom as in the growth, that saprophytic growth, even in the Ramayana, even in Kalidas has mentioned it in Rutusava. It's called Ambil. Okay. Alambi. Alambi it is called. Alambi. So that means the word existed there. That means mushroom existed, but people didn't eat it. Mushroom grows on dead, decaying matter. What are you giving yourself? Yes, they are recent in our foods. Mushrooms are not growing recently. They have become a recent addition to our foods. See, why our people somewhere may be eating? Because they don't get anything else. But we get, now when you get greens, why you need mushroom? Oh, they have that micronutrient. Is it not present in others? Look, I'm not against it. I'm saying don't make it your daily thing. In fact, it is used as medicine. We say, Nasti Moolam Anaushadam. There is no single root. Root means any plant which is not medicinal. But that doesn't mean you eat it every day. Because ginger is good. Every single day, 365 years of the day, I drink ginger tea. Will it help? Use our upper floor. Under certain circumstances, we should not. Though it is good, excess of anything will be bad. We have just this much tea. That's fine. That is fine. Every day you have no problem. But every day, 4 times, 5 times a day, you only drink ginger. What will happen? You should, for certain conditions. Ginger, by the way, in case you didn't know, ginger and turmeric are great fat scrapers. They are fat scrapers. I'm not saying fat pure. They don't melt fat. They are scrapers. They scrape it out. Ginger and turmeric. Those of you who have these, they actually scrape it out. That is why having morning hot water with turmeric and ginger helps to break down fat for those who are suffering from excessive adipocytes or too much of fat. Okay, so these are certain things. They are properties of foods. Ultimately, it's a chemical. Look at it. It's a biochemical, not synthetic. It's natural. It's natural. It's got a mixture of other things. So it's going to have some properties that you have to use those right properties for you at the right time. If you have all those spices in summer, do you have spices in summer? Oh, lots and lots of fried stuff. Then all those pepper and garam masalas in summer. You have? You don't feel like having. The body is telling you don't have. But in winters, we have rasam or the pepper soup with that you have it, right? Why are you adding the spices there? To keep you warm. They have a function. All the spices have the function. That's not to garnish, by the way. Coriander on top is not to garnish. Coriander on top is to make. Somebody asked about that salad, and pachadi and all those things. Why do we put fresh coriander chopped on these things that we eat? It is to digest, to prevent the formation of vata. Okay, it is also to cleanse. That is why those people who have kidney problems and all, they generally are advised to have coriander, liquid juice kind of that of coriander, or eat coriander, or have dhania powder. Why? Because it cleanses. It has a cleansing effect. It has an effect which will prevent vata formation. That is why we have coriander. That is why over all that pani puri, that bhaiya will put lots of coriander. That's not for because it looks nice and green. That's because it's making it digestible. Even he doesn't know, and even we don't know. Today we know. So everything that we put as garnish in our traditional thing is never for garnish. It has the property of making your food digestible. Let's be sensible about it. Let's be mindful about it. Anything that you put on top. If you're putting pepper, it's not because it lends the taste comes secondary. The first thing is that it's making it digestible. Very important. I know I'm running out of time. Gitanjali ji, you may just tell me, because this is in 2 parts, and 2 or 10 parts will always be insufficient for this topic, but I won't exceed my time. Please let me know when I should stop. Okay.
Ruchita ji, this is phenomenal. There's so much that you have to give, and you're going at such a great speed. But we'll also keep some time for some questions. I think some people raised hands. So in the next 5 minutes, we could take some questions, or even now.
Sure, I can do
Whenever
that.
you're ready. Because see, for everyone's knowledge, this is the first part. And as you can say, Ruchita ji is full of wisdom. And we are going to have these sessions now, 1 per month at least.
No, I don't want it to be an overdose. Next time they'll all run away and nobody will come back. Okay. So, all right, we'll take the question. We can, I'm sure there are many things that are coming, and I'll try to address each of these at different times. See, the topic Yuktahara will never be complete in one session. So at the end of it, if you're thinking, oh, I mean, what? You will keep getting it like, piecemeal, and each of these will get integrated into what you already know and make it more sensible for you. So it's not like one answer the question in 10 sentences, that it's not how you can place Yuktahara. Neither can you know your food, each food element. We'll talk about certain foods also. Like someone said, jowar. Jowar is soothing, is cooling, is madhura. Now, the end of every food. This is one thing which I want to say, and I will end on this particular part before I take the questions. Is that every food that we eat, whatever its taste may be, at the end, when it goes inside, it produces one of those rasas. Remember, I told you those 6 rasas: amla, tikta, kashaya, madhura, lavana, and katu. So one of the rasas, one is what is produced by the food after it goes in also. Right. The end of anything sweet is sweet. The end of anything salty, if I eat salt, at the end when it goes inside my system, it's going to produce a rasa which is madhura. Okay. Then what is sour is going to produce sour. The rest, what are there, are always going to produce bitter rasa. So there are, though you have 6 rasas that you're eating, at the end of it, after it goes in and eventually it breaks down, someone who's got their mic on, I request you to please keep it on mute for 2 minutes. And that the end product of this will be one of these 3. Either it will be sweet, or it will be tikta, or it will be lavana, salt. Okay. So one of these. That is why so remember, I started by saying jowar in the start. If someone eats a jowar bhakri, at the end of it, it's going to produce a rasa, which is madhura. So if person who is already putting on weight would rather eat a bhakri which is of nachni than eat a jowar bhakri. Though jowar contains high amount of fiber, and this is just a beauty tip on the way. After you have mixed your atta for jowar, sometimes after you have mixed it in the plate, whatever little remains, just rub your hands with a little bit of water. You will see it's fibrous. Rub it on your face, it acts as a natural scrub. Likewise with masoor dal. Okay, masoor dal is very high on fiber. Jowar is very high on fiber. So these help to form the roughage and taking it out of your system. I'll just look at the questions that are in chat and
Ruchita
we'll
ma'am,
take
I
them
have
one
a
from.
question.
Yes, please.
My and thank you so much. I'd like to so much to take in from you. My question is, so I am on the body fat on a higher side, and I've always struggled with weight. I have gained weight, then I've reduced, then again I've gained, I've reduced. Now, past 6 months, I am going to not slowly working on lifestyle changes. So earlier I was six cups of tea. Now I've come to 1 cup of tea. Everything is now falling into place, but now I've realized that my metabolism has gone for a toss. And I am my weight target was 24 kgs. I've reduced 5 kgs till now in a healthy way in 6 months. Now, what kind of like my question is, I normally eat dal and sabzi, but with atta I am really confused which atta I should take, which will be conducive for me to accelerate my metabolism and help me to reduce fat at a faster pace. So which atta should I take? Right now I'm eating, sometimes I eat bajra, sometimes I eat normal wheat ka roti, sometimes I eat normal jawar ka roti. I don't mix my atta. So which atta should I take? I live in Jaipur. So based on Jaipur's weather condition, what kind of atta is conducive for my fat loss?
See, I may not give you one word or one sentence as an answer. First of all, I think most of us have to remember one thing. One, weight is not simply about what you're eating. Weight is a lot about how you're thinking. If you first cut your baggage, mental baggage, you will start losing weight faster. Most of us put on weight, okay, apart from your lifestyle, apart from not having exercise, not doing exercise, eating the wrong foods and all, most of these things, see, everything is interconnected. And that is why I said samyak ahar, vihar and vichar. If you want good health, you need to have these in balance. If you are simply holding on to something of the past, which is a mental baggage, and you leave the need for holding on to the baggage, you will start losing weight faster. And weight will not will not, your body needs time to adjust. The body is used to a particular story. Your body cells, they need to be told that you have to talk to the body and tell them, look, bhai, this is new story now. We are going to be comfortable at this weight. You can't just do it, independent. Everything is a whole. You have to work on it holistically. So yes, I'll come to your question about the ATA, but I want to say this to everyone and anyone who's listening and has this problem about weight. See, we put on weight is not simply because of lifestyle. Is, yes, lifestyle has got all these elements to it. The way we think, the way we, what kind of exercise, and are we putting our body into a state of shock each time? So let there be a pattern. Allow your body to set with it. Understand. Tell your body, look, boss, now I'm going to lose weight. We are going to settle at a particular whatever weight there is. And Plan to Win will also teach you about goal setting and other things. Anyway, I'm sure Gitanjali ji will tell you. But what I'm trying to say over here is that you have to tell your body that, and allow your body at least 3 to 6 months time to set into a particular, understand that this is going to be my weight now. So if you are on a healthy weight loss plan or whatever you're following, I mean, I can't just say, it's like, I can't give advice just like this. You have to speak, you have to understand the person and then say, but general things that you can say are, if you have been losing weight, now allow at least 6 months to follow that thing for your weight to stabilize. You keep losing, fine, you've lost 5, that's great that you've lost 5 kgs of weight. It takes quite an effort to do that, it's commendable. But for your body to adapt and adjust to this 5 kilo loss of weight, you have to allow 5 to 6 months, 3 to 6 months, depending on your body. And metabolism going for a toss is obviously, when you give it so many such shocks, the body metabolism does go for a toss. Again, there is your hormonal system that will determine it. There will be all other changes that you have in your life, so everything plays a role. If you are stress is another way of putting on. Cortisol increases means weight. First thing that you can put on is weight, because cortisol causes a lot of fat deposition, causes the adipocytes, the fat cells, to grow, to accumulate more and store more and more fat. So stress also causes it. So you have to be what I would say, be kind to your body, be kind to your own self. And yes, with the atas, what you can use millets. Different type of millets are there which you can use to make your roti. What I do is I use rasgira, amaranth. Okay, I don't know if you know what rasgira is. Khushbu, is that you who are asking me the question?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. It's
Okay.
me.
So, Khushbu, do you get rasgira? Are you sure you know what is rasgira or amaranth?
Yeah, I know. If
Yes.
we get Rajgira, we use
Great.
it in Falhar.
Very good. Very good. So you can use the atta of this Rajgira, the Rajgira, and then you can use the right kind of protein balance by either using roasted soya flour, or you can use moong dal, if that goes with you. Roasted moong dal, make it, roast all of it and make a flour out of it and use that helps to give you that balance, because that protein, ultimately it's about limiting on the carbs, but not going no carbs. No carbs is a long, you never remove any element completely from your diet, whether it's the oil element, whether it's the fat element, whether it's the fat element, the protein, carbs. No, don't remove any element. Balance it correctly for that situation. That's most important, striking the right balance. So Khushbu, I hope I've been able to answer your question. You can try using Rajgira atta. Use with moong or with chana ka flour, whichever goes with your system. If you have flatulence, acidity, don't use chana. You can use moong. If you are good, you can, if you've been eating anything with soya rich and it doesn't upset your stomach, you can use soybeans, roast them well, and then never use soy and flour without roasting it. Otherwise, you will get a lot of abdominal problems, apart from it not being digestible for you. Okay, that is what, and add a little bit of fenugreek seeds. When you make your atta, make it and keep, add fenugreek seeds if you want to, that is also helpful. Just little, you don't have to add too much of it. And alsi and all, I wouldn't say in Rajasthan, don't add alsi, because it will already cause more heat too. So don't add alsi in the atta, but you can use rajgira, you can use moong or chana flour or soy flour, depending on what goes with your system. And you can use little bit of, just some amount of methi, fenugreek seeds. Do not
Ruchita
use
ji?
till, or yes, I know I'm running out of time, just 2 minutes. So don't use alsi or til in your atta, but this you can use. Yes, please, Gitanjali, you were saying
Thank
something.
you,
I
ma'am.
am amazed. We are all amazed at your wealth of knowledge, and there's so much that you have to offer. You knowing all the disciplines you have. There are a whole lot of questions also, but I'm going to have to do this for the next time. Unfortunately, it's the 8:55, and we want to be on time every time. And the part 2 is for the same thing, that we can take in a lot more questions. And I'm getting an idea about having properties of foods as one of the topic, Ruchita ji, after the next month, maybe, because there's so much
that
we
is
need
in
to learn
Yuktahar.
about
It does come a little later. It does come as part of the entire Yuktahar series. This properties of food is something which comes little later, and it is definitely most important. What I could also suggest, if there are a lot of questions this time, we may be able to pool these questions, and we can begin the next session by addressing those questions at the start and then taking it, or as you deem it fit. I mean, just
Yes, I was
so that no
about to
one
get
should
to
feel
that.
that.
I was about to get to that, that we have a link in the chat box. Please, one of the super leaders, just add the links of the heart to heart group where we can have question answers. Please pour in your questions over there, everyone. Join that group. And for the next time, we will keep it, we will start with probably these questions. We learned so much about Ahar in the Indian wisdom way today, across body types, across Ayurveda, across time cycles, Ruchita ji, across the day of the cycle, like a crash course in introducing us to Sanskrit words like Satmya and Samyak.
Satmya.
Yeah, in Jainism, we say Samyak Darshan, Samyak Charitra. It's like reintroduction to that. This was phenomenal. And I'm sure each one of you is going to be very mindful of what's in your plate and what does it even, how does it do, what does it do to you? So next Saturday, we'll continue part 2 of Yuktahar. Let us know on the group if you have queries. And now I'm going to hand over to my co-partner, Darshana, who should be, I want her to please give the vote of thanks to everyone. Please, Darshana, can we have you and tell us about the opportunity which is awaiting for all of you?
Thanks.
Okay, fantastic, everybody. Yeah, fantastic. Shreyas, I can see Shahid and Sandima, you all have questions. The good news is we have Ruchita in our Plan to Win Heart to Heart group. Okay, and Ruchita is like a permanent member with us, answering your questions, really enlightening us by all the wisdom that she has. So thank you, Ruchita, for being here. Ruchita is, really contributing in various aspects. As you can see, it's not only health, but also there are some very critical policies that she's looking after in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So, Ruchita, thank you for your knowledge, and not only that, I can see there were easy tips that we can take and work on them. So, really thank you. I would request all of you, whoever is in the heart to heart group, to put your pointers कि आपके लिए क्या कैच हुआ, आपके लिए कौन सा पॉइंटर बहुत जरूरी था. एंड ऑल्सो अगर आपको कोई सवाल है, सो वो आप सवाल भी पूछ सकते हैं, बिकॉज रुचिता इज देयर इन द ग्रुप. नाउ आई वांट टू टेल यू अबाउट द अपॉर्चुनिटी दैट प्लान टू विन. जैसे गीतांजलि ने कहा कि इट इज अ कम्युनिटी where we are looking at planning and winning with ease and grace. तो 76 लोग जो है, इनके लिए स्पेशल चीज बताना चाहूंगी कि हम planning to win 2022. Okay, I think my internet is little. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please put in the chat. It's okay. Yeah, Shreyas is showing me a thumbs up. Okay, perfect. So guys, हम अभी ना 15 जनवरी पे रुके हुए हैं, और 15 जनवरी पे अभी अगर आपके पास कोई मास्टर प्लान नहीं है, तो प्लान टू विन आपको मौका दे रहा है, जहां पे हम मास्टर प्लान लिखने की तैयारी कर सकते हैं. और रुचिता जो है आज की एक्सपर्ट, उन्होंने ऑलरेडी ये प्रोग्राम किया है. So Ruchita, would you like to quickly just maybe in 10-15 seconds tell us how has this training on master plan brought shifts in your life?
Gives you a lot of clarity, because you are able to put your thoughts into words and pen them down and be accountable for them yourself. Finally, your life is about being accountable to yourself, and I think that is the most important thing which you get, which you are able to realize once you are a part of that, because you know everything. It's about actioning it and implementing it that makes the difference. So simply having the knowledge is not okay. It's important to put it in action, and then from that action learn more out of it, and that's what Plan to Win does. Thank you.
Yeah,
and
lovely.
I guess, this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, Ruchita, you complete now. What will you say?
And I think it's important to be a part of the community, because ultimately it's about being able to connect. Like minds will help generate better things and help materialize more in terms of the positive space or the positive energy. So I think it's important to have this community growing, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm not always active because of the kind of work, but then that balance also at some time will come. So
Got it.
I hope to see you all there as well. Thank you so much, Darshan.
परफेक्ट परफेक्ट तो रुचिता जैसे रुचिता को बहुत कुछ अपने लाइफ में करना है, हमको सब लोगों को बहुत कुछ करना है और वो सारी चीजों के लिए एक मास्टर प्लान होना जरूरी है बिकॉज गाइस 3 चीजें बहुत जरूरी है, ईज, ग्रेस एंड क्रिएटिविटी. तो प्लानिंग टू विन 2022 एक प्री सेशन है 1 घंटे का, जिसके लिए मैंने एक अलग ग्रुप क्रिएट किया है. Yeah. So if you want to be a part of that group, Gitanjali, can I request you to share the new link? This link is only if you want to be together creating the master plan. ये 1 घंटे का प्रोग्राम है.
In the chat box, please.
या चैट बॉक्स में हमने ना एक ग्रुप किया है. वो ग्रुप जो है सिर्फ टेम्पररी ग्रुप है. प्लानिंग टू विन 2022 के 1 घंटे के फ्री सेशन के डिटेल्स आपको दिए जाएंगे. ये सेशन 18 जनवरी को होगा, जो ट्यूसडे है. It's going to happen at 7 p.m. Shreyas has raised his hand. Shreyas, before we conclude, so bottom of my heart, thank you to all the participants. Every Saturday, आपने कैलेंडर को मार्क करिए. 8 बजे से 9 बजे तक आपका अपॉइंटमेंट फिक्स्ड है प्लान टू विन के साथ. Yeah. So Shreyas, would you like to say something here by the time we close? Okay. Maybe he wanted to ask the question. So, okay. Yes, Shreyas, would you like to say something here?
Session was very good, and I wanted to ask Ruchita ma'am if she can throw some light on oats and muesli, because all youngsters are crazy after oats and muesli. So just because it's rich in fiber and oats protein, so if you can throw some lights on eating oats, is it healthy or recommendable or not, especially for Indian community?
Yeah, Shreyas, you know what? Wo question abhi, because we are already 3 minutes late. We want to finish. We always start on time and finish on time. Ruchita, can you just post something on that on the chat right now and take it in the next session? Yeah? Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Have a great, great weekend, guys. And please join the group for planning to win 2022 as well. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, Darshana.